If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. Right, hello everyone, and welcome to our one shot of PunkApocalyptic, whatever. PunkApocalyptic.
Great start.
The role-playing game. Two dead in a shit town. I imagine we're going to Basildon. That joke won't fly very fast, but you know that's fine.
Edgy.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sorry, he said Basildon. Scott, do you have an American equivalent just for our wider audience?
What was that term again?
I was mentioning a shit town called Basildon.
Yes. Basildon.
What's a shithole that you won't go near? There must be a town which, like, oh god, that's a shithole.
Can I nominate a whole state?
Sure, America, everything's bigger. Yeah, sure, do a state.
Maybe Florida, I don't know. And you just had a
James had hundreds of subscribers in Florida who've all just simultaneously left.
Yeah. Oh well.
All politics, Scott.
So, what are we doing? We are playing this game called PunkApocalyptic. I am James Chambers, and this is Chambers of Roleplay. What we're going to do is we're going to go around the table, get people to introduce themselves, yes, and then we'll jump to Scott. Scott will then take us away, and then we'll probably go back around the table and introduce our characters and who we're playing. So, I'm going to go around from where I am, because I'm at the bottom today. So, Sue, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm Sue. I'm playing PunkApocalyptic.
Brilliant.
No one can pronounce this game.
I know.
I'm playing this game that I will not try to pronounce for the first time ever. I'm hoping it will be good training for the coming apocalypse.
If it's not already here. Doc.
I am Doc. I will be playing PunkApocalypse, and my character is Roach. He is a perfectly reasonable chap in the post-apocalyptic world who unfortunately hates muties because they're terrible, right?
Thank you. Now, I called him Nails. Pookie.
Hi, I'm Pookie. You may better know me from my reviews from Really A, where I post lots of reviews every week. And tonight I will be playing PunkApocalypse, written by Robert Schwab. And my character is Nels, who is tough as and has a vaguely pebbly textured skin.
Just remember, Scott, you just got to make everyone repeat their characters once you go back round to get us to introduce our characters.
Oh, no, we're going to be saying PunkApocalyptic every 5 minutes within this game.
Punk Lollipop. J-Wall.
Hi, I'm J-Wall. You can find me many places. Right now, I am playing, as you can see, possibly PunkApocalyptic. I said it. And I'm playing as Caligula. They are, by all accounts, a genius. And perhaps a little bit evil. And also missing a left arm, but we'll see how that plays out with my slingshot.
Does that mean he can only count to 15?
We'll find out.
I'm a genius.
That's a big thing.
I know how to do higher than 15. I can get to at least 25.
I'm talking about, you
need other people's fingers for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
Well, wouldn't it technically be 16 because the stub counts as one by itself?
Yeah, the stump.
Okay, and I like how Cameron in chat also mentioned the same thing at the same time. It's just like great minds think alike, hey? Anyway, Scott.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, I am Scott. I'm going to be the GM. I'll be running PA, the RPG today. Yeah, I did that.
What, PunkApocalyptic?
Yes. And yeah, it is written by Robert Schwab. It is a role-playing game, based around the ideas of Wasteland, a mixture of Fallout, a mixture of Mad Max, all tossed together with some of the rude and crude attitude that he's famous for in his other games, such as Shadow of the Demon Lord. So we are here to have a grand old time with all of the mercs here in the Wastelands.
So this is like Fallout, yeah?
Similar, but you know, more missing arms, I suppose. You know, less, and you there's going to be a lot less, you know, gear, I suppose. You know, you're not going to walk into a room and find 14 shotguns and a bunch of bullets, but you might. You never know.
Why
We'll
not?
see how it goes. But so, yes. So James, would you like for me to just go over the game a little bit more, some of the rules, or since you know you are generally the ringleader in this affair,
Oh,
just
great.
kind of
Butt
butt me in the right direction.
Got to cut this all out to make you look smart again. Okay.
Gotcha.
I'd go around and get people to just introduce their characters, especially the ones that didn't do it, like myself.
All right, James. Well, why don't we go ahead and start with you then? Who are you playing today?
As you can see on my little thing, I'm playing a merc called a Zombie. I'm going to just read his background. The Wasteland might seem empty and shitty because, for the most part, it is. But for those who know where to look, it holds all kind of treasure. You've made a life for yourself, finding usable shit, from guns and bullets to food and meds, in order to keep you and those you care about from turning into mutant wasteoids. Yeah. You have a knack for finding useful stuff in places others would overlook. Always nosy, you discover a secret that's got a lot of people killed when it was revealed. You hope no one will figure that shit out. Maybe I shouldn't read that. Age, he's adult-y. He's old enough to know better, but young enough to avoid the aches and pains and horrors that come from growing old. And he looks, he's a looker. Something about you grabs the eye, having all your teeth, an odd symmetrical face, or sharp body shapely body free from weird bulges. You are missing a few toes. And he's a little shorter than average. He's about average weight. And he's got a small tattoo on his nose. Really cool, like a beautiful mandala or a pile of skulls. And he's got a tick where he's constantly smiling all the time.
Or your own teeth, still.
Yeah.
Oh, we changed that. Not a problem.
I'm disappointed you didn't actually paint the tattoo on your nose, James. Fair. A committed player would have done.
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and go in order. Who I have up. So J-Wall, you are next. Who are you playing?
Yep.
And
Hi.
keep it under an hour, unlike James.
I am Caligula. I am a genius.
Sorry,
You know.
is that I am a genius?
Yes. No, I am the genius, actually. I'm something of an anomaly. Most of the smart folks wound up in one of the megalopoli, but not you. Somehow you got stuck in the wasteland along with everyone else, and with a head full of knowledge, useful or useless depending on where you are at the time. Your smarts mean you can figure out problems, remember useful details, and generally be the most brilliant arsehole around. And I may have used my genius for evil. That could be for a number of things. Maybe I made a bomb. Maybe I unleashed a plague. You know, we don't go into detail on that part. I'm quite young. I'm a young adult, but old enough by most, US standards to vote and perhaps drink legally. I look hot. Clearly no one told me that being covered in shit and filth is the new black these days.
Quite literally. If it's
I'm a little short of an average. I'm slender build, and I'm missing my left arm. So this is like the most you're going to see here. Yeah, that's me.
Well, let's give him a round of applause.
And did you also notate that your major form of defense is a slingshot?
Yeah, so I use a slingshot that is socketed into where my left arm should be. So that's going to be interesting, no doubt.
Excellent. All right, moving on. Doc, who are you playing today?
I am Roach, and that is the end of my attempt to do a punk apocalyptic accent. I'm a fanatic, As it says here, people might have given up their allegiances and beliefs when the world went to shit, but I still cling hard to what I think is important. I hate muties, and this gets me up every day, drives me, and helps give me purpose to get shit done. I take it you put something about swearing.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Guess
Yeah.
I didn't want to scare any young people. I've sort
But
of
that's
got
all of us, Doc.
Yep, exactly. Yep. I'm sort of average looks for a post-apocalyptic chap. Ditto height, ditto weight. So I do have a hat. I don't know whether that gives me any particular bonuses, Scott.
Well, it protects your head from being burned. Other than that, just it gives you a nice swarthy look. So
well, watch out for that. I imagine it's going to be big.
All right, excellent. Sue, who are you playing today?
I am playing Sin, who is a drifter. She's travelled far and wide across the Wasteland, still not seen it all, and finding it hard to stay in one place for long because the road keeps calling her back.
Are you like the littlest hobo?
Well, I'm not that little, as will become apparent. So, yeah, I'm a young adult, old enough to drink legally, young enough to still think I'm immortal. I'm a looker. Like Zombie, I've got all my teeth. I haven't got my nose. Some kind of accident, I assume. I have a scar on my cheek and no nose.
How do you smell?
I'm not answering that.
Just fine.
I am tall and of above average weight.
Excellent. And finally, we have Pookie. Who are you playing today?
I'm playing Nels, who is a slender height and basically average height and slender build. Sort of like rough, pebble-like texture skin and ugly. Pierced ears, basically hard fists, tattered clothing. I'll give you and he's prepared to use the fists. And occasionally he produces weirdly shaped things out of his bag.
But you got that one. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That may come into play at some point in time. You never know. So yes. Now, mind you, to be fair, these were not chosen by the GM himself. I randomly rolled for these. So the things that you have in your backpack are just an act of God, so to speak. So excellent. So that is, you all will be playing the Mercs for today. I can briefly go over the rules here, and then from there we can go ahead and move into the story. So how PunkApocalyptic works is essentially it's just a D20 game. You're going to roll your 20. There's going to be a target number, and you want to get at or above that specific number. Most average numbers you have to beat are going to be a 10. But depending on different scenarios, that target number may change. In addition to that, when you do roll, you will apply any modifiers for any abilities that are appropriate for the action you're taking. In addition, within this game, there's what's called assets and complications. Certain things will give you assets, which are bonus dice. Those dice are D6s. And when you roll, depending on if it's an asset or a complication, you will take the highest number of the highest roll die from your roll, keep that one, and you will either add it to your total if it's an asset or subtract it. And essentially, assets and complications are randomized depending on situations. Certain things can give you assets. Some of you have skills that will allow you to either create assets or utilize them in certain ways. One other important aspect of the game is also there's a thing called fortune. What fortune is a pool of luck, so to speak. And it's a random number that I have rolled, and it is a secret. At any point in the game, any one of the mercs can ask to use a point of fortune. And what fortune is going to do is it is under the basic rules. You can use fortune to create assets. You can make an attribute roll with 2 assets, so 2 additional 6-sided dice. You can use it to immediately heal damage up to 2d6, or you can maximize damage on your roll, which will allow you to take the highest value of whatever weapon or whatever it is that you're using. Now, the thing is, though, you have no idea how much fortune you have. So at any point in time, you can ask me, I would like to use fortune, Scott. My back's up against the wall and it's Hail Mary time. And I will reply, well, you're shit out of luck because Caligula just used the last point of fortune from the last scene. You are on your own. So it's a gamble. But just so you know, the number is rolled, and here it is. So it will remain here, but this is something that you can use at any point. I mean, it doesn't have, you don't have to necessarily wait for your turn, so to speak, but it is definitely something that will make it that will help you out if necessary.
One
yes.
question:
Mm-hmm.
What die is the fortune pool rolled on?
A d6.
Right.
Yes, 1 d6. So you could have 1, you could have 6 points of fortune, just so you know. But within the game, if this was a standard campaign, as you leveled up, it would be a d6 per level. So it would eventually go up to 3d6 of fortune, depending on how far you progress within the game. So yeah, so as it stands right now, you have 1 to 6 points of fortune.
Wow.
And it's first come, first serve. So determined by me, whoever chimes in. If it happens to be a tie, we'll decide how to fix that when that occurs. So
and there's no way of like putting more points into that pool during play through like good role play, good ideas.
Possibly, I may allow that, but there's other ways to award you. Usually it's done with assets within the game. Just because fortune is a very powerful token at your disposal. But you know, I'm never opposed to any player trying to adjudicate the necessity of their survival. So,
all right, cool.
But all right, any questions on the game? I know I may have loaded up the journal here. There's a lot of information on here. Not all of it's going to apply into this game, but at any given time, if you need to reference something, I can look it up here. I have the PDF at my disposal if you need it, but for the most part, everything is within the journal that's in Roll20 that I've applied. So let me pop this out.
I think most of us will learn better as we play, right?
Absolutely. Oh, and one other thing, there is an X card within the game, and fair warning to those watching. This is a mature game. Granted, it's not triple X rated or anything like that, but there may be some random cursing. There may be not anything overly horrid.
Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
This is an adult channel, so we can swear as much as you bloody well like.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Belgium.
Yes.
Belgium.
How's that swearing?
You've never read Hitchhiker's Guide? Okay.
No.
It's the worst swear word in the universe.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Hitchhiker's Guide role playing game. Anyways, okay, but just for the players, and just if there's anything that touches or hits a nerve, there is an X card within the game, and that can be utilized at any given time. Not as a joke, Pookie, but it is there. So, with that, if there's no other questions, we will begin. Any questions before we start? Okay. Yes, Pookie.
What year is it?
Currently, let's see here. This will be, we'll just say that it's 2265.
Okay, thank you.
PA. So we're just going to go ahead and move into the scene. It has been a hard trek for you all. A small band of mercs who decided on a whim to leave their crap hole of a town on the outskirts of Death Valley in the hopes of finding the dream of the megalopoli San Angeles to the west. San Angeles, apparently, there's rumors that it still exists. Endless streams of water, boundless food, no horrible mutants and raiders who are coming to steal your goods, kill you, eat you. It is a paradise. You received a small map that was guiding you there. You really have no idea where you're going, but it's better than the crap hole that you've been living in your whole life. What seems like weeks, even though it's only been a few days, you have finally made it to the edge of the broken desert. You're starting to approach an area of foothills that is leading up to a large mountain in the distance to the west. That's the path that you are walking towards, trying to locate the pass through to get to the San Angeles Valley. But that's still days and days away. The area that
Donner Pass.
What's that? Not the Donner Pass. Yes, no. This is logistically this would be a pass that would be going through Yosemite, so to speak. But we'll leave it at that. So the area that you're in is greenery is starting to reappear. There are sporadic dead and dying trees, but it's also flush with new growth, greens and yellows, colors that some of you may haven't really seen in abundance, sporadically pop up everywhere. You're still walking through a broken part of the area, but things seem a little bit easier. You are out of the horrid desert. Near the edge of the transition of the desert into the foothills, though, you spot a town in the distance, which, as it turns out, is an excellent thing because you are on your last bit of food and water. And hopefully somebody at this town will be able to trade or at least maybe provide you with a job to replenish your gear. And we'll move on to the first scene. All right, your tokens will be on the far right. Let me know if there's any issues with it showing up in Roll20. I know it can be a bit finicky at times.
That looks good to me.
Everyone good? Okay. As you get closer to the town, you notice that this particular town has a name. The sign welcoming you to Shit Town, which was showing a population of 10, crossed out, and an 8 written horribly next to it. This area occupies a small ruined area, which probably was a suburb back in the day, but it currently is almost burnt down and utterly wrecked.
What a shithole.
Yes?
I said, what a shithole.
Yep. As you get closer, you can see, a small group of assholes squatting around the town. Vinyl siding hanging off the sides, particle board, the roofs are pocked with holes, windows broken out, garbage strewn everywhere. And as you enter the first part of the town, all eyes are on you. Some with suspicion, some with fear, but mostly it seems to be curiosity. And as you do, one of the people notices you and comes forward to greet you as you enter the town. If you would like to rearrange your tokens in what you would consider to be in the marching order, otherwise we can just keep it as is. So,
well, I think Sin would be leading the way because she's the one with itchy feet, right?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, but then maybe I'd want someone large in front of me.
Who's the largest one? Who's Fat Boy? Okay.
Maybe it's actually tough.
Well, I'm happy to go at the front and just make sure there aren't any muties in here. Make sure that we're looking at decent, God-fearing folks.
Do we need to do American accents? Well, howdy there, partner. My name's...
I just can't stop myself. I'm a man of 1,000 voices.
So the man approaching you, we'll say, is approaching Roach. First thing you notice, Roach, is he's not wearing any shoes. He comes forward and puts out a hand to greet you, and he says, welcome, strangers. I couldn't help but see you guys, approaching town from a distance. You look like a group that may have, come from the Wasteland beyond. Where are you all heading, and what brings you to our, wonderful community?
Hey, mighty fine to meet you. I'm counting his fingers, just checking he's got the requisite number. Mm-hmm. Assuming he does. Yeah, we're looking for San Andreas. We've just crossed the desert, and I'll tell you something, we're mighty thirsty.
And he goes, oh, the famed megalopoli, huh? Yeah, many people pass through here to head over through that mountain pass right over yonder. We never see them again. I mean, it's something that I used to dream of when I was younger, but sometimes you just got to let those dreams go. And he says, wait, so you're saying you need food and water?
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay. If you're offering some food and water, we'll happily oblige.
That is bang on, mate. I mean,
I know,
honestly,
right?
I can't tell you from Essex.
I know, good, isn't it? That's my southern drawl there. Did you like it?
Wow.
And Scott can't. You can tell the difference between you and his fellow Canadians.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when I tried to roleplay Warhammer, it was a lot of, hello, what's all this then? Hello, what's all this then? So yes, it's. I know it's a two-way street of embarrassment. But so yes, getting back. So he as he takes his hand back, he says, "Well, my name's Clap, and I guess I'm the one who kind of leads this town." And he looks behind and he introduces the few that are near him. He's all that woman over there. Her name's Rotten.
Has she got the clap
behind me? What's that?
I said, has she got the clap as well?
The clap. Oh no, they call me Clap because I do this all the time, just absentmindedly. What's this clap you're talking about?
Don't do that! Don't do that! You make Caligula jealous.
I'm just pulling out my box of tissues, which is my miscellaneous item, by the way, and just crying to myself.
And he goes, the two behind me, that's Prick, and this is
the other one, Stick.
Slick. And the greenish one over there is Fiddler. Don't know why, but the day he was born, he came out all green and never got over it.
He's green, you say? That sounds like a mutation.
Oh no, sir. He's no mutant. It's just he was just born with green skin. Ain't that right, Fiddler? And Fiddler kind of looks over at you and just looks confused. And he's
I'm going over to him and I'm giving him the test.
Okay.
I'm checking. I'm counting his fingers.
So I'll move you over here. And
okay.
so Fiddler's kind of, he's looking you up and down. He does have all of his fingers. As far
nipples?
as
how many nipples?
Well, he's once again he looks a little embarrassed and he goes, "Who's this Fiddler you're talking about?" And you hear Clap behind you says, "Oh, that's right. Fiddler has more than one person living inside his noggin. So I'm not too sure. Okay, is it wheat? Or is it Tangerine we're talking to now, Fiddler?" And he looks up and goes, "Well, once again, I know who this Fiddler is, but my name's Tangerine, so I guess that's who you're talking to." And then he just he looks you up and down and says, "Well, I have two nipples. How many nipples am I supposed to have?"
Hey, I'm asking the questions here. There's a lot of muties around here. My job is to go out there and keep decent folks safe from
by
mutated
counting their nipples.
Hey, I'm a trained professional. That's how we identify mutants.
Don't lie about that. Don't lie about your little fetish there, Roach. Don't lie about that.
So, if you just show me your nipples, we can move right along, Tangerine.
All right. So he looks down and rips open his vest, and you see two nipples, rather large, but lime in color. And he closes his shirt.
Good to meet you, Tangerine. You're clearly one of us.
Yeah, and he shakes your hand and kind of says, "Oh, good to meet you." And his head shakes for a moment, and it comes
Roach.
back, and he looks at you, looks around. Hey, Clap, who's these people here? And Clap goes, Fiddler. He's like, yeah, I was over here chopping wood a few minutes ago, and suddenly these people appeared out of nowhere. And he just he looks at you and says, wow, you look like a mutant.
Who's he talking to? Mutants? Where, boy?
Well, he's looking over at Caligula.
Caligula.
Yeah.
No, don't you worry. He lost his arm in a fight. I've checked his nipples and everything.
And he goes, that's page 2 of the Mutant Hunter Handbook. You know that, right? You got a copy?
Okay, I'm giving him the special handshake.
Excellent. And so he does that.
Okay.
And turns around and says, now, if you excuse me, I've got some chopping to do, and goes back to chopping the wood. So Clap says, well, all right, y'all, how about we go ahead and, discuss the means of this, food and drink that you want. We don't have a lot of it. We don't really have much to share, but we're willing to exchange things for goods or, more important, services. Just so happens there's something that we can use some assistance with that the other folk around here just don't really have the stomach for.
Oh, okay. Do you have a watering hole at all?
Do we have a what?
Sorry,
Sorry about him. He's got a speech impediment.
Is it my American accent that's confusing you?
Yes.
I don't know if confusing is the right term, but I can.
Distressing.
But
right,
so he goes, well, we have a bit of an issue here in town, you see. Well, maybe I should just show you, and we can explain on the way. And he turns and starts walking towards the house over here. And he says, well, why don't you all follow me inside, and I can show you and maybe explain and see if you would like to help out. And we would definitely be able to give you guys some food and drink.
Well, if it involves counting nipples, Roach is all in.
Yeah, he sure likes them nipples.
All right. So if you want to grab your tokens and head on over.
Oh, do we want to grab the house as well?
Nope. I just want to remove it. So Clap comes inside, and I will wait for everyone else to head on in.
I'm gonna be like, well, it looks a bit like a shithole in here.
Oh yeah, that's the this is well, I mean, it's part of our town name, but it is a shithole. We don't necessarily need to move everybody in here, but so the first thing you see when you walk in is on the corner to your right, there's 2 old mattresses, and lying on the mattresses are 2 dead bodies, 2 men who look like, for the best of your ability without getting close, several stab wounds bleeding out onto the mattresses. And then he says, Sheriff, if you don't mind, I think we might have somebody here that might be able to help us with this. And Sheriff gives a grunt and moves around the corner to the bar over here. And Clap goes on to explain the situation that you are witnessing here. All right. So he says, well, where to start? A few weeks ago, a man came to town. Name goes Pinkus Dinkus. And he arrived one day with a large barrel of water, some food, and some stories of the land beyond, the edge of the wasteland that we were here. He was helpful. He was, seemed to be an okay man, and we welcomed him with open arms into our community. And to be honest, one of our little darlings here, Mally, kind of caught his eye, and he caught hers, and they seemed like they hit it off a bit.
That sounds really painful.
What? I'm sorry. What?
I said that sounds really painful.
And
I think you're maybe doing it wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyways, but yeah. So he continues on and says, but just yesterday we awoke to this. Two of our citizens here, Benny and Crawfish, found dead, stabbed. Pinkus was gone, and also several cans of our food taken. And as far as we know, he grabbed everything he could and then headed out into the rotting forest behind us. And we've been wanting to go after him for some, since this occurred, but it's been dangerous for us out there, And likewise, worst of all, he broke poor Mally's heart on top of killing these two sons of bitches here. So, what do you think? You look like you're capable mercs. Maybe if you can find out what happened to Pinkus, bring him back for some good old Wasteland justice, not only will we give you some water, some food, but I think we may have some extra bullets lying around that would be more than welcome to pay you for your services. As you know, bullets are the going currency around here. I don't know what they are where you come from, but unless you have something special to sell, bullets is cash.
I reckon Caligula does our bargaining for us.
Okay. So at this point within the game, it's essentially up to you if you want to accept it, which is fine. And then from that point, you decide what you would like to do within the aspects of the town. You could question people. You can search around town to see if you can find anything. And then also you can also explore the surrounding area if you like.
So,
I don't know. Should we go home instead?
Not across that desert. So is Mally still here?
Yeah, believe me, and Mally's here. Of course she's here, but she gives a shout, Sheriff. Where's Mally at? And Sheriff kind of turns, and he pricks his hands up, and it starts trembling really bad. And he points over across the room over here, and says, "She's in the shitter, right over there, in the shitter." And Clap goes, "Thank you, Sheriff. You did well today." And he leans over to Zombie and goes, "Sheriff ain't been right since he got hit in the head some time ago. Unfortunately, it was me who hit him in the head. But we don't talk about that because he don't remember it." And leans back away and says, "Yeah, if you just head out the door to your right and around the corner, there's the door over here will lead you to the shitter. And be sure and knock because there's no lock on the door."
So who's going to talk to Mally?
I'll go have a word with her if that's okay.
That's an excellent idea.
I
Who's
don't know
going to
where
act as
my-
a translator when he goes to talk to Mally?
So, James, you want to? I can move your character over there. How about we'll go down? Why don't we go down the list, and then we'll just take each one at a time what they would like to do. So, James, you would like to go talk to Mally?
Yeah, Zombie would like to go talk to Mally. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, so Zombie's there, and then after that, J-Wall, what are you going to be doing?
Yeah, so Caligula steps forward and says, how about we do some bargaining?
Okay. All right, so you're going to bargain. Doc, what are you going to do?
I'm going to be backing Caligula up here, I reckon.
Okay. Sue, what would you like to do?
Sin is going to go with Zombie to talk to Mally.
Okay. I can move you if you like. There we go. And then lastly, Nails.
I'm going to look these bodies. I'm going to look these bodies over just see if there's anything I can take, but anything I can learn at the same time.
Excellent. Okay. So James, you and Sin are now in front of the shitter. On the wall, it's spray painted on there on the wall. It does say knock, and then it also says, if you like, place a 20 under the stall.
Okay. All right. I'll knock on the door.
Okay. And you hear, is occupied.
Is that Mally? Is that Mally? This is Zombie. The Clapper sent us to come speak to you.
And she says, who? I know Clapper. I don't know no Zombie.
How long are you gonna be?
Be with what?
Taking a shit.
I'm not taking a shit. Come on in.
What the hell are you doing in there?
And she calls out. She says, I'm cleaning the goddamn toilet. Head on in. It's disgusting.
I'll let Sin go in first because it's a toilet and I don't really want to go in a toilet.
All right. So we'll go ahead and move you both in. It's a communal toilet. So the moment you walk in, I mean, this thing, the first thing that hits your face is just the stench. Over in the corner, you see an old rotting stainless steel toilet, but which is precariously perched on just an open grate. So essentially, they are just crapping on the toilet through a hole into the grating. There's no plumbing.
I've
Other bits
never
of
been
trash.
happier not to have a nose.
There you go. See how these things work out. The bits of trash, used bits of clothing, smears on the wall. It's just disgusting. And Mally she's on her knees in the toilet, and you see her hand is in there, and she's just scrubbing, and she looks up at you and says, "All right, which one of you is Zombie, and what are you doing here?"
I'm Zombie. We've come here to talk about your boyfriend.
And she suddenly stops and she goes, Pinkus?
Yeah, that fella. Yeah, the fella that ran into the woods earlier today or this week or whenever it was.
Yeah, when was that?
It was just the other day. The other day. And she says, "Hold on a minute." And she lifts her hand out. And she goes, and you can see she's not really scrubbing with anything. It's just a bit of cloth, but mostly it's her hand. And she and she just goes like this, and she goes, "Okay." And she walks over to you, Zombie, and says, "Well, I mean, if you're here to help Pinkus out, I can help. I can tell you anything you want." She holds out her hand to shake.
I look at her hand and I go, "I think you missed us a bit."
And she goes, "Oh, you're right. Ugh, God, it's just just hard to get this stuff off sometimes." And she starts rubbing her face with it. And you can see that the reason why she's rubbing her face with it, she's got a bit of stubble growing on there. So it just kind of just helps wash it off. She goes, "All right." Shakes it just right on both you and Sin. Goes, "That's better. All right. Anyways, we'll pass the informality. So you're here to help Pincus, are you?
Hey, yeah.
And she says, thank God, because everyone here, they want to string him up. They want to kill him for what they did to those two bastards, Benny and Crawfish, but he's innocent. I know he didn't do that. I know he had nothing to do with that, with stabbing those two. I mean, and even if he did, he probably had a good reason. He's just ran off and scared. You know, he just, you know, if you are going to go after him, please either tell him that I will meet him in the next town down the road, or out in the wasteland. I don't care. But as long as I know he's alive, tell him I still love him and I don't care what he did to those two bastards, if he did it. But if you bring him back, don't let them kill him, because he's a sweetheart. He's done so much for this town, and since he's been here, and doesn't deserve, you know, what they're going to be doing to him when they bring him back. And she looks over at Sin, and she goes, ooh, and she reaches out. She's like, you don't have a nose, do you? And she does that kind of thing where people are going to reach out and try to touch it
With her shitty fingers. I wouldn't let
Yeah.
it anywhere near it.
and then stops herself and says, you know, I can help you with that if you like. I think I've got something in here somewhere. Where did I put it? And she kind of looks on the ground. She's like, there's something that can cover that up that may help you look a bit more normal, if you ask me. And she's looking all around the grating, you know, saying, I found it was down here. Oh, that's right. And she reaches into the toilet.
Right, let's leave.
And
Let's just leave. While she's reaching down the toilet, let's just leave.
and she pulls, oh, that's right. And
I'm interested.
It's one of those Groucho goggles with the one with the nose and the mustache. And she goes, and she says, here you go, sweetie. This, you know, I mean, come on now. You know, it'll help you look a little better.
Yeah, I'll thank her.
Okay. So be sure and put crappy Groucho goggles in your inventory. All right. So
Might wipe them down a bit before I put them on. But...
Yeah, that's one hell of an asset.
Shitty smelling glasses.
So moving on. So we've got Caligula and we've got Roach. You're going to negotiate. So what would you like to do?
Yeah, so who are we negotiating with?
You're going to be negotiating with Clap. So are you wanting to increase the payment? You're negotiating the terms. What is it that you're wanting to negotiate?
I feel that we should get an upfront payment.
Okay. All right. So he looks you up and down and says, why would I give a bunch of people fresh from the desert upfront payment to go find some piece of crap like Pincus Deacus? You can just run off and never come back. So at this point, we can go into, you can try to role play it, or we can go into the social conflict scenario where we have the options of rolling for persuasion, mockery, intimidation, friendship, or deception.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to go with friendship. I'm going to say, look, Sheriff, you can see we're good guys here. Let's be straight with each other. We need some water, or there's just no way we can go out there and hunt this guy down. Let's just get us a bit of water. We're the type of guys that are going to be coming back. We'll be straight with you. And I get to roll some kind of dice.
Yes. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to go ahead and roll and add your mouth modifier to it. And you're going to try to beat his gut score.
I'd like to assist with this.
Okay. So with his assistance, you will get a one asset.
Oh, well then,
So
wait there, because I'm
So
going to do this
when
even better.
I have the ability that when I help another creature, I increase the number of assets by 1.
What?
Oh. So
I'm going to stick with 26. I'm sticking with 26.
You already have pretty much the perfect score. So
yeah,
excellent. So and he looks you up and down and says, well, I like the cut of your jib. You know, what are you wanting for upfront payment? We're not giving you the bullets. That's for damn sure. But we'd be willing to part with maybe a little food, maybe a little water. But you know, the payment of the bullets will only be upon delivery of Mr. Dinkus.
What do you reckon, Caligula?
Yeah, a bit of food, bit of water, that'll do us all good.
Okay. So he says, he kind of looks around and looks over at Sheriff, and Sheriff reaches behind the counter, and he comes back up, and you see a variety of different, you know, flask-looking thermoses, things such as that, and says, okay, each one of you are going to have an extra water as an asset, and then he turns to you and says, now when it comes to food, you know, Pinkus ran off with just about the last bit of our beans. You know, I don't think there's much left, but if you'd like to go into the kitchen across yonder, you know, over here, you're welcome to whatever you can find. But let me give you a fair warning. Pinkus tore that room up. It's hell on earth if you happen to go in there. But you never know. We haven't had a chance to clean it. He may have left something behind. So,
Thank you kindly. It's been good doing business with you.
Excellent. Okay. And so at this time, let's see here. Nails, you are looking over the bodies. So pull this
Yep.
up. Okay. Okay,
Just
so
basically,
you get closer to the bodies. I mean, the first thing is obvious that they were stabbed, you know, profusely. Crawfish has 6 stab wounds in him. Benny has 10. There's a lot of blood lying all over. But go ahead, if you wouldn't mind, give me an eyes roll.
okay, so I've got an eyes of 11, so that gives me a +1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's +1 bonus. No, 0. So 12.
Excellent. So as you're scanning over the bodies, and you said you had the intention of kind of maybe seeing if there's anything down there of value. Something catches your attention though. You see that the blood leading from the mattresses, there's a trail leading out the door that no one really noticed in the beginning, but you spotted it. It's hard to see with all the filth and refuse, but and on the door there is a bloodied handprint stuck right next to it, like someone reached out and touched it as they went out through the doorway. In addition, next,
how many fingers prints does it have? just how many fingers has that handprint got? Just checking.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like 3, but that could be either he's missing 2, or that's just the amount of just where the hand touched it. Yes. So, and then the other thing you notice lying near the edge of the bed are these couple items. Let's see. Here we are. There is about 3 or 4 candy wrappers. Still a little bit of melted chocolate inside them, but the candy themselves have obviously been eaten. And then there's a tore up picture of an old woman dressed in a some clothes that you don't recognize. She's got like something coming up to her neck. It's all ruffled. Her hair is up in a kind of globular bun thing. She's got little round glasses on the edge of her nose, and the picture is black and white.
Okay. Hey, clap.
You're muted, Scott.
Yep. Sorry, I was just asked a quick question. Yes, and sorry, my wife has to sharpen something. Let me.
Should we take a break?
Actually, yes. Let me answer Pookie's question, and we will be spot on for the first 5-minute break.
Okay.
So glances over at you and says, "Yeah, what's your name? Screw?
Nails.
Oh, got it. Nails. Yeah, I should have gathered. But yes, you have a question. Nasty mess down there. You see anything?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hold up the wrappers.
Okay.
Know where these come from?
And his eyes go wide. He's like, well, that's candy. We ain't seen any sort of candy here, and God, maybe been a year. Where'd you find that?
Down there. I'll put it in my pocket. Put it in a pocket.
Okay. And he looks at those. He's like, and as he looks at him, he's like, well, that's the last brand that we had here. And you know what? Damn it! Someone told me that those went missing a long time ago. And he looks down at Crawfish and Benny and goes, some bitch, did these fuckers steal that can? Wait a minute. And he looks over and says, Sheriff, you and I need to have a talk in private. And with that, we'll go ahead
and hold on.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and looks. Yes. Phillips head.
You
Nails.
misname me one more time, and I'll punch you. I'll get you to answer my questions, and I'll punch you out.
All right. Sorry, Mr. Nails.
No, just Nails will do.
Okay, Nails will do.
Oh, Jesus. Look at the picture. Hold up the picture. What's this?
And he looks at that. Oh, that. Well, that right there, you see, it well, considering, all right, it gets lonely out here sometimes. And that's that right there. That's the community friend that some of us kind of pass around from time to time.
What the fuck?
Oh,
yes. If you get my meaning, if it sticks, just kind of peel hard and it'll come off.
Oh my God.
Hey, you need a community friend? I can sell you a community friend. And I produce something, pull into my duffel bag. I'll pull something.
And with that, we will go to break.
We will be back. 10 minutes? 10 minutes. We'll be back in 10 minutes. So don't touch that dial.